received one.
Alright, so we are officially back with the old format of Punch Drunk Kung Fu, where we fight each other and then drink and really talk about how much we suck at it. So, Matt's with me. He's moved out to the West Coast, so now we actually get to do this again.
Damn, look at those sexy legs.
I mean, man, the shorts are so hot. So this was round one. First was kind of MMA rules, where, you know, no weapons, no eye gouges, no groin kicks, although they probably happen anyway. And it's scary all around because you can grapple, which I fucking hate. You can punch and kick guys, which I like. So it really works out.
I just wish you'd let me grapple more.
You know, I have a hugging issue.
You should watch Care Bears more.
Dude, Care Bears just fucked me up as a kid.
What's the? Oh no, it's My Little Pony. That's where all the bronies go.
Oh, dude, I know way more about My Little Pony thanks to my daughter than I ever thought I would.
It's great to have an excuse to watch it, right?
Yeah, no, it's totally not the animation, the awesome story, and how much I love friendship. I mean, our friendship is a fair amount of our friendship involves hitting each other and trying to break each other's limbs. So I think that's probably a fair thing.
Wait, that's not a hallmark of all friendship?
It should be.
That's probably why I don't have many friends.
So at this point in time, we're both kind of fresh, right? And my goal is to get in between your guard because you keep changing your position in your guard a lot. And that makes me have to change how I do the same kick over and over and over again because you are a fast learner and you pick up on what I'm doing.
Well, your fucking kicks, I never see them coming until they're like halfway to my face. Look.
That is. So do you remember what was going through your head at this point?
Give it back. You kicked me and I'm like, I'm giving that shit back. See?
Good, and that is a discussion that we've had a whole bunch of times in these videos, but essentially one of the big things that I think separates someone who really wants and likes to fight, or at least like and want is probably a weird word, but is willing to fight, is exactly that, where you're willing to give it back, where you actually want to give it back. Like if you get hit, you get angry, and then I'm now gonna fucking hit you, or eventually grab you and break your arm. And it's probably a natural and learned trait, right? Like everybody, our natural instinct is to, if something's coming at us to hurt us, get away from it, run, step away, whatever. And then that was our children. I know, we're parents. I embarrassed my daughter enough, it's fine. And, but you eventually learn to use your anger from getting hit. It's either, for me, it's not even a pride thing. It's just I get excited.
Listen, you're like a brother to me, but when you hit me, I just want to give it back. And it's not personal, it's just, fuck this. Like,
and that is exactly as it should be. So this is, and that was that. While you were dealing with the kids, that was exactly it. Where you just started coming in. Now this is a situation where you're picking up on something that I was telling you last time, which is when it's MMA style, or when you're fighting at all, and the guy is swinging at you, you have to get in close, right? And if you can punch and kick, a effective way to do that is to strike, and as the strikes go, you are moving in closer.
I just need to work on closing that distance. I mean, so today I was working on forward pressure and keeping my posture up, but and today I was able to at least see some of those opportunities to move in, but it's actually acting on them, right? Like right there, like I mean that was okay. Like we both kind of need defense, but like when you have your kick, there's a split second where I can move in between and grab, and that's where I'm comfortable. I'm not comfortable on my feet.
And that's why I'm gonna hate fighting you as time goes on.
At least it'll be even.
Right. I think about posture, and is the standing up posture that I use. Right, I'm a striker. My goal is not to grapple. If my posture drops, it's because I'm considering a grapple coming. But otherwise, I will just absolutely stand up, and if we can't grapple, then I will just stand up fully. But as someone who grapples and someone who is throwing strikes, going back and forth between that lowered stance and back up to the upward stance is another transition point, like the moving forward thing. Because, right, going up and getting into a clinch is one way to try and get a grapple. But another way to try and get a grapple is to go down and grab the legs. All right, so that was video 1. And that is, once again, everything is easier said than done. Mm-hmm. But you do that. All right, so here's video 2 starting. And when you go down for those low blows, which you will see a lot more of as they come, eventually, as you practice more grappling and that transition and grapple more people, you're eventually going to start to do that to me. And so I'm just taking advantage of this part as much as I possibly can. Yeah. Now, what was going on there?
So, all right, like when I roll with some of like the blue purple belts or like higher belts, I usually use my shin as like a shield, and then I push forward and then I pull, so I create this pressure. And I was thinking that maybe I could create the same pressure and then get behind you, but the logistics didn't work that way. But I also had you kind of immobilized because I had that one leg trap, so I wasn't afraid of kicks from that side. So I felt relatively comfortable. I just didn't know what to do, like transition afterwards.
Yeah.
But I know that there is something. I just didn't know what I could do.
All right, and that's just right. Now we don't have a lot of space in here because we have, as you can see, a bunch of the cabinets and stuff. So space is an issue. If you had more space, you could have possibly started to pull and drag.
Yeah.
Right. You could do that. And very much like when you go for a single leg takedown or a double leg takedown, you're kind of like going to the side of the guy, right? It's once you feel safer in a safe spot, then you can almost take a second to collect yourself, right? Because trying to think in the middle of all this while the guy's punching and kicking at you is not an easy thing to do. So a lot of guys I hear will come up with a plan before they do it, and then it's just applying the plan and hoping it works. Mm-hmm. Which I always say that like all of this is really guessing. It's like you are educated guessing as much as you possibly can with the training you've had.
I think like coming up here, you throw a kick and it would, like if I didn't stop it with my hand, it would have caught me square on the nose. Like it would have been a vicious kick.
Then I am sad that you blocked it. So for me, right, kicks are what I love. Tang Sudo for the first 4 years of training, like that was, everything I do is almost trying to set up my kicks. Mm-hmm. And see, that was perfect. Yeah. Right, you went under it.
That was close. That's what I mean. Right? Like I don't notice it until it's like halfway there, and I'm already reacting.
Yeah, and like that was just me getting lucky, right? But that exact spot right there where you came back with a swing, that is the transition into getting hit and coming in with something, right? And eventually that something will end up being a strike or a grab.
At that point, I was just like, you know what? Fuck. I was like, I don't like being with my back up against the ropes or a car or whatever it was. And it's like, fuck this, I need to get out of here.
And good. And there also comes in practice with the circling portion, right? It's like the only way to get out is either push forward through me or slip around the side of me. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know if I hit you in the groin in that last time.
I think you came close, but what I was pointing out was like one of the kicks, I think from the first round, right there, did you see that? Like that was close. Like you would have had me right in the nose if I didn't catch it.
You had to block it like a jerk.
Right? It was so fucking fast. But you blocked my my kick and with your elbow, and it was just vicious, like instantly.
So
vicious.
That is something I learned. God, when I first started doing MMA back in the day, instructor named Mark, because I came from a very traditional karate type style before that, and everything was like inside outside blocks, down blocks, and they work, they're fine. But he's like, dude, you can just kind of like drop your arm a little bit and use your elbow to like block that spot. And I'm pretty sure it's a kickboxing type maneuver. And man, it's in my opinion, depending on the situation, more effective than actually hitting the guy.
I think so. I mean, your block was a strike.
Yeah, right? So it's essentially taking the elbow and meeting whatever the strike is with your elbow, and do the same thing with your knee. That's what I try to do whenever people throw leg kicks, is I try to actually bend my knee and meet their leg with my bent knee. And that's I believe it's from Kyokushinkai Karate, is what Mr. Bell told me back in the day. Which is, Muay Thai, you lift the leg and you kind of like absorb the blow a little bit. But man, if you bend your knee and hit their shin with your knee, it's like literally hitting a steel ball with the guy's leg.
I think in the few going on the third round, you did get me with that. Like you got me right under my knee, like top of my shin, with your knee, and instantly I felt it. It might not even been your knee. It might have just been your shin.
I don't even know. Those parts, I barely feel anything in those parts of my legs anymore from literally years of kicking hard things until I can't feel stuff anymore. Oh, see,
Saved by the Bell.
I mean,
you would have had me. I was backing up.
And I'm pretty sure in the last one I got saved by the bell too. No, I think this one was us. So this was us going through a drill, right? So this next video is starting now. You were asking me a question. We were going through a drill of it, and I can't remember.
Is this the takedown?
The takedown thing, right? So help walk me through this, because this is. Oh no, we were fighting here. Never mind.
Oh, maybe we didn't record it.
No.
Yeah. Not. So I think this is afterwards, because I was going in for the more of the takedowns. Like here, I thought that I could get behind, and I just couldn't. But what I should have done, I just fucking failed. What I should have did was try to go and get your back, but I just tried to go head on, and you just kneed me right in the solar plex.
Yeah, so that was a short one. We took a 2-minute break between that one.
Yeah.
But right, that shows how striking makes a fundamental difference in grappling, which is it's just Dan and I would talk about this all the time. It's everybody's got it was Mike Tyson who said this, everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the face. And that's, for me, it's everybody's got a plan until they take you to the ground, and then I just flail.
See, when I'm on the ground, I have time to think. I like it.
So there's the drill. Right? So what is this drill?
Okay. All right. So I saw this YouTube video of this takedown, right, where you get close. Right? You're squared up, and then you get close, and then you basically put both of your your hands in their armpit, and then you grab around them, bear hug them, and then you do the takedown from there. But yeah, it's easier said than done. Everyone has a plan until you get punched in the face,
right?
or kneed in the fucking gut.
I think that this was in from the knee is what prompted this in your mind, right? And what's going on here is what worked. What happened with when I kneed you is you were right in front of me, right? We were essentially working towards a clinch, like a Muay Thai clinch.
Yeah.
Right. That is the spot where you knee guys. When you actually do the thing as you were showing it, right, in the same way you do a single or double leg takedown, where you kind of move your body to the side and put your head against their abdomen on your ear, and lift them up that way. That, I think, is how that move kind of works, right? So I think if you move to the side and just take them down, or if you're moving to the side, just get their back.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think here, my question was, well, what happens if I do we do get locked up like that before? Like we did before. Should I block with my forearm? And then you were saying, oh man, there I should have went in for the fucking grapple. But you were saying, just get distance, get space.
Right. If you're in a bad spot, right, and you're you know what, I don't want to be here. You don't be afraid to push the guy away and reorient yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because you're not spending the entire time standing 6 inches from the guy and throwing nonstop, unless that's the exact way you're fighting. But very rarely is that the case. So you make distance, recollect yourself, and then you guys engage again. It's very much like sword fighting.
Yeah.
It's I've heard stories about how old warriors would say this is the number of engagements we had before I cut him down or whatever, right? And it's like a badge of honor. We had this many engagements. That's how long you last. Which, is a meaningful thing, especially if you're cutting a guy down with a sword, I guess. But it means something because it's that you survived that much. And, if you just stand there and let yourself get hit, you're not going to survive at all.
Doing jiu-jitsu, that's actually how I measure progress. is if, you know, the higher belts, how long does it take them to submit me?
I mean, you probably already beaten my record. I'm pretty sure when I used to do jiu-jitsu, it was all about 45 seconds.
There's some guys where it's about 45 seconds. I mean, some of the brown belts. There's one brown belt that just gets me every time. Oh,
There you
so
go. So that
yeah.
was, and you
There
were
I
doing
was
it.
trying to get the, you know, close that distance, but, you know, when I couldn't get it, it's just remembering let go, right? Like, you can always try again.
Yep.
But it's being aware that if I close that distance, I'm taking the hit. I'm getting hit. So you don't really want to give it up because you want it to work.
Yeah. And therein lies that guessing game. And I call it stealing yourself, right? Like, you are going in, you are accepting what's going to come. I think that's where
Yeah.
you're caught in the shins.
I mean, it was a good block.
Oh, yeah, no, it totally worked. And had it been half an inch higher, I'd have probably been doing that.
Yeah.
Because it would have hit you dead on the knee.
Right?
But, you know, the more you do it, the better it works. Environment, too, by the way. You know, like, this is something that I think plays a cool role in things like garages and when you're fighting in non-tournament environments, because you have to be concerned about what's behind you. You have to have an idea of what's around you. Like, eventually, if you watch old videos, Dan and I were fighting in places where we were allowed to grab things and hit each other. Like, one point, I got pissed off because I was trying to throw Dan into a vacuum cleaner, and somebody moved it, and I got pissed. And another time, one of the fights is I did a back kick and Dan blocked it, but he flew backwards into a doorknob, and the doorknob is what got him. My kick isn't what did it, but it was the environment around him.
That vicious doorknob.
Right? But like, and this is something that like I think is cool is eventually, you know, as we progress and start moving around more, and hopefully this garage will open up a little bit, but the more things that will be around, you could, like, if you can get the guy to slip on something, well then you could totally grab it.
I think here, like, I was getting tired. Right? I mean, I trained early this morning in jiu-jitsu.
Wait, you trained before you got here?
Yeah, I did jiu-jitsu.
Fucking beast. Jesus.
But here, you know, like the third round, I'm feeling it, right? Like my arms are getting heavy, my guard's lower, I'm moving slower.
Now, was your thought process changing when that was happening? Because that's a very different environment.
It was, I need to get more technical, right? And it became more about survival at that point. Yeah.
Good. All right, so that was our fun Friday evening in the bordering 100-degree weather. Keep that blood boiling. All right, later, guys.
Sit.